Hi, hello everybody. I'm live again for an impromptu Q&A. This is Catchup with Mayo, and I had a little technical problem before, so we're going to start it over again. I'm trying to get a good view here of the hotel room. People want to know where I am. I am in a hotel room in the state of Maine, and I was vacationing here, short few days for Christmas holidays, and it would be nice to do a live stream from a different location, just for posterity, that kind of thing. So here I am. And hopefully people will join me. I started another chat. I had to stop the chat. And I'm back now to begin fresh. So right now, my girlfriend is out and about with her sisters from here. She has family up here. That's why we visit here. And they're doing some girly stuff. They're going to a salon to get their nails done and things like that. And I figured I'd take the opportunity to come on here now and do a live stream. So hopefully you'll join me and we'll start again because the last one got aborted. What's going on, folks? Hello, Christian. Hello, Philip. This was a pretty good Christmas. I got some Beatles shirts. I got a John Lennon Christmas ornament. This morning I went out. There's a parking lot over here, and it's a pretty huge parking lot there because there's a Lowe's store, Lowe's, Lowe's, or Loews, however they spell it, and also a Walmart out there. And it was a long walk, and I love it. Need that. Got some New Year's resolutions, but we'll take care of that later. Julio, how bad is the snow there? Well, I'm very lucky that when I got here, there's little remnants of snow left over because they got a foot and a half the weekend before Christmas, and now it's really almost all gone. You can see little snow here and there, but it's clear, and it's going to be clear for the period we're staying here. So we got very lucky. The temperatures aren't bad. I mean, the temperatures are in the 20s. Not bad. So very fortunate. We're going to be here. We're going to be coming home soon. We're going to go to New Hampshire, and we're going to go to a store, and hopefully they have things I want to buy Beetle wise because I'm trying to, as you all know, really, really seriously cut down on non-Beetle stuff, but not everything. Uh, I'm still going to be buying vinyl, and I'm going to be making a video that's going to talk about that. It's going to be like, I don't know, kind of with the direction that I'm taking my channel in the 2023. So we'll see what they have, and of course I'm still collecting Beatles and solo Beatles vinyl. That's still the same. Even though there might be some vinyl doubles and things I may have that I'll sell. As far as the non-Beatles and solo non-Beatles vinyl, the idea is to reduce that by, I'm going to say 75%, maybe more like 90. We'll see. I see Martin McGrath is here, and he's writing all kinds of comments. So is it talking about how George Harrison really loved Ringo? Yeah, it's true. They were all good friends, but George really had, fondness for Ringo. Everybody, what's going on? What's on your so-called minds? later tonight, we're going to go to dinner out here. Um, and like I said, then tomorrow I should hit New Hampshire. We're going to Manchester. Yeah. And I've been to that store once before, that record store. They have a lot of stuff there. I haven't been there though. I have a video on it. Maine and New Hampshire record shopping or something like that. I don't know. Well, there were two stores I went to. That was about 7, 8 years ago. When is the next Mayo After Dark? Good question, Edward. I don't know. That's one of the things I got to really fix in 2023. Doing more movie videos. That's my Mayo After Dark, folks. Is my second channel that has movie material on it. Oh, yeah, Philip. The idea, like I said, the idea really, which I'll be elaborating on more in a special video about it, is that I'm going to try to make the CDs bigger in the collection. The CDs will be what I listen to. If I cough, I'm sorry, my throat's dry. Between the cold air here and between I have the heat on, so this hot air that dries out my throat, and the fact that I have to talk here, it's not easy. You do a lot of talking too on top of it. So, we're doing a live stream. Pete Shotton's book, I have it, but I never read the whole thing. Yeah, I know Pete Shotton has revealed a lot of stuff. But that's the thing, too. Anytime somebody reveals stuff, you don't know how true it is. It could be true, it could not be true. It could be. But I have it. It's called In My Life, Pete Shotton book. And it really should have been read. I think Pete Shotton talks about the writing of the song Eleanor Rigby also, I think. I don't know if it's in that book, but I know he's mentioned it. Yeah, it's enough with the vinyl, really. I'm sorry, Julio, if you're there, man. I'm telling you. I mean, it's funny. I started this channel to be a vinyl channel. In 2012, when I started this channel, it was all about vinyl. That was the idea. I was starting it because I was collecting vinyl again, and it was the vinyl community and all this. And now I don't think of myself as being in the vinyl community. I think of myself as being a YouTuber. So I'm a YouTuber, not a vinyl community guy. Although I always say, if you collect some vinyl, then you're in whether you want to be or not. Shavathon, interesting point about Pete Shotton. Uh, yep. So I don't know how long I'll be doing this little live stream. It could be short. It depends on when my girlfriend's done with her business with her sisters. Martin McGrath says Pete Shotton had no motives to lie. How do you know? How do you know what was in his mind? Maybe he just gets off on lying, like kleptomaniacs get off on stealing. No motive. You don't know that. I don't know that. I'm sorry, folks. Sometimes it's tough. You know, it's like, I say that he had no motives to lie. Therefore, nothing's a lie in that book. All right. What can I tell you? And then again, maybe the entire book is wonderful and true. The whole thing is 100% accurate and honest. I don't know. I'm just supposing, taking a grain of salt. John Lennon bought Pete Shot in a supermarket in the UK for him to run. Well, what does that have to do with it? And then Martin's like, maybe read it. He's telling me, maybe read it. So if I read it, how does that tell me that something's true or not if I actually read it? You know what I mean? For example, let's say, John, one time we were walking down the street and John picked up $100 bill. Uh, okay, now I read it. But does that mean it's true because I read it? Come on, Martin. CDs are the way to go. That was very different from my very first video I ever made. Hey, I'm entitled to change my mind, you know? So many people like look down and scoff on people who change their minds, but I'm entitled to change my mind. Sometimes I do, and I proudly tell you when I change it. If one guy says, Shavathon says, it's like anything that's published. You have to assume the publisher's attorneys vetted it so they don't get sued. How that in the world could you vet or know, like by the example that I used, John Lennon picked up $100. I'm just giving an outlandish example. Picked up $100 bill. How in the world do you prove that or disprove that? John's dead. What's up, Petty Lane? You're in my ears and my eyes. Oh man, that's the problem with those books. People just take everything gospel. I got to be honest with you. I don't believe that Shavathon. He says they wouldn't care about the incidental item. It's the more salacious stuff they need to confirm. No, there's lots of salacious stuff that's made it out into print. Many tabloid books that tell a lot of salacious stuff, and you can't prove it or disprove it. I mean, how would you even confirm that? How would you even check that over with a lawyer? How could you do that? You can't. I mean, you had the Albert Goldman trash book, The Lives of John Lennon. That's like garbage. A book went out. Anyway, whatever. Did my camera die? No, I had an issue, so I start again. Yeah, I did. I tried doing this live stream before, and I had to start it again. So here I am. Whatever, Shavathon. Whatever. I don't have to read the Elvis book to know what you're talking about. I've seen lots of books and read lots of books with a lot of salacious material in it, whatever the word is, salacious. A lot of bad material in it, and they exist. And maybe there's quotes where this quote came from, or who said that, or whatever. But I'm not going to spend all day on this. Why do you think Elvis hated John? Well, because at the time Elvis, I guess, didn't like John's politics, and yeah, Elvis turned out to be a big buffoon when it came to his way he treated the Beatles. I'm telling you, I like Elvis, but guy was a nut job as he got older. Okay, all you Elvis fans, it was true. But then again, hey, Lennon was something of a nut job. I love people who think like, oh, this guy doesn't put Lennon down or anything. I'll never say anything bad about John Lennon. You know, I just did. John was a little nutty too, but Elvis was a different kind of nut job. So, what's a good word, folks? Yeah, I gotta say, Henry says John wasn't that nutty. He was with someone who was kind of nutty. Well, the actual feeling I have, John was a little different, a little strange, and so was Yoko. So the two of them hit it off. I mean, and they were made for each other, and it was a wonderful thing. As far as I'm concerned, they were happy. There you go. Henry, don't go there. Martin, you really need to get rid of that nonsense you spout elsewhere. You know what I mean? There's too many idiots out there who think that. I said this the last time about when I did the live stream that was defunct now. People think that I don't allow people to have different opinions. That's nonsense. I've been doing this channel for 10 years. I've got about, I don't know, 1,500 videos. If you want to take days and days and read every comment, you'll see lots of times when I'm over there debating things with people about Yoko, and they can disagree all they want. I just look for it to be civil, and I look for it to be respectful. So you don't have to like her. You could say, "I think this. I don't care for that music. I don't care for this," and don't be misinformed. You know. So that's how that goes. But but I have to say that because there's some people out there. There are some people out there that really think this. Like there's one guy in particular that spouts out on other channels. Oh, this guy, he blocked me because I didn't like Yoko. Because I didn't praise Yoko. Nonsense. You don't have to praise Yoko or anybody. Just be respectful, or just do it in a civil way, an intelligent way. If you're gonna sit there and bash shit and just make ugly comments and things like that, nastiness, that's all over the internet. I don't need that on my channel, and it won't be on my channel when it comes to Yoko. So, or anything, but we're talking about Yoko right now. So, hi James. Good morning. As far as I know, Linda Blair is not going to be in the new Exorcist movie, but Ellen Burstyn, who played her mom, is. As far as I know. Happy Yule, happy Yule. Say Happy New Year, folks. It's Sam St. John. It's time for New Year's. We're finished with Christmas. And I know the people who say, hey, Christmas goes on the 12 days of Christmas. We go for Christmas all the way into January. Not, I don't, you know, I don't. People out there that want to feel that way, by all means, have a great one. Have a cool time. But as for me, Christmas ends at midnight the 26th. Man, I need a haircut. Look at that. I got to tuck this stuff on the sides. What's going on, folks? Welcome to my impromptu Q&A catch up with Mayo. How long does the tree stay up, Joe? Huh? Well, the thing about the Christmas tree is we didn't put it up this year. Actually, right now we don't even have room for the Christmas tree. That's how. But when I do put it up, I believe the Christmas tree should come down uh, ideally after New Year's Eve, like New Year's Day, the first, the second, something like that. You know how I feel about Christmas decorations. Christmas decorations are gone. I think the New Year's Day should be the day that everybody takes their decorations down, or that week, the first days. But I've been known to have my Christmas tree up a long time after Christmas Day because laziness. You don't really want to take it down. I hear my girlfriend's returning. When my girlfriend comes back, Q&A is over. Yeah, putting it up early November, no way. Put the Christmas tree up Black Friday. Do I think that John Lennon treated Ringo the best out of all the Beatles? It seemed that way, in my opinion. He treated Ringo very well. Yeah, I would say he treated Ringo the best. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think all the Beatles, the other Beatles, John, Paul, and George, they all loved Ringo. Yeah, treated him well. I think so. Yes, John has a similar quote. It's not paranoia; it's just heightened awareness. Exactly. I've always said that, and then I realized later that John Lennon said the same thing, and he's not the only one. Other people say it too. Happy New Year, Lingo. Is it true that John didn't like Phil Spector much? Yeah, John said he didn't like Phil Spector, but he was fond of his work. He liked the work, but he didn't like his personality. That pretty much goes kind of par for the course, I think, when it comes to Phil Spector, right? What's going on? What's going on, folks? Lingo McHarrison asks, "What can we expect from you in the new year? Any changes?" Yes, there will be changes, and I'm very excited about a video that I want to make. I could shoot it right here in this hotel room, which would be nice because it'll be different scenery. Not much to look at, but it's different than my own home room. But I'm going to be making a video where I'm going to be talking about things that are going to change, and I think there are going to be a couple of things that people are going to like, new changes in my channel. I think there are going to be a couple of things that people are not that thrilled about. You know, so it'll be interesting to see what people think, and I'll probably get that video up by New Year's Eve. I hope. You know, changes in 2023. You know, something like that. And I want to save them for the video. You know. Sam St. John says he and Dad just watched the is that Creedence Clearwater Revival concert documentary on Netflix. Do you know if the Beatles ever talked about liking them? I don't remember them ever discussing them. I like Creedence, but I don't remember Beatles mentioning them. No, John Lennon was not the only Beatle that Phil Spector worked with. He also worked with George, right? And did he work with Ringo? Yeah, Shavathon says, thankfully, the Wall of Sound was not used on Let It Be in the first Lennon solo LP. He was, he says, I was never happy with Spector's production of the first two George Harrison solo LPs. Yeah, I like some of his production, but it's very heavy-handed, particularly on All Things Must Pass. Yeah, Martin, I don't know about that. Martin McGrath says Paul apparently walked out at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when Spector was inducted. I don't know. Look in Pete Shotton's book. Maybe he'll tell you. Well, All Things Must Pass, although it's kind of muddy, the original mix, it does have a distinction about it that makes it what it is. I liked the anniversary version, 50th anniversary, I guess, version of All Things Must Pass, when they tried to make it a little clearer and stuff and despectorize a lot of it. I like what they did with that. I like it very much. But I also went back and I do like the Phil Spector one too. So there you go. Got the window right here, light coming through, natural light. Lengo, I'll let other people talk about. Well, all right, what is everyone's favorite Christmas movie? You like Christmas Vacation and you like A Christmas Story. I like a movie called The Homecoming. That's my favorite one. It's the Waltons pilot to the TV show. The first Waltons movie, The Homecoming, was actually the pilot. I love it. And I also like Miracle on 34th Street, of course, the one with Maureen O'Hara and Edmund Gwenn and Natalie Wood. Would I ever consider selling some Beatles stuff? Yeah, some of it. I've sold stuff before, traded stuff before. Yeah, yeah. March of the Wooden Soldiers. But it's funny. They always play March of the Wooden Soldiers here on Thanksgiving. But I still think of March of the Wooden Soldiers more Christmassy because you got the toy shop and all that, and Santa Claus and the wooden soldiers, toys, Toyland. If you read Jeff Emmerich's book, which I haven't, he said that Paul had the final musical decision on all tracks from the very beginning. It would be all four, and Martin sitting around Paul. I could see that to a degree, but I don't buy it. I mean, I think that all of them had something to say about it, but yeah, I don't think that on Living in the Material World, the second George album, Phil Spector's not all over that album. Boy, I wonder people who actually watch these things, watch these live streams, these Q and A's back as a video. When it becomes a video, I watch Q and A's sometimes too, but you have to look at the host so much. It's like, wow, how can you look at a guy that hosts so much? I hear a lot of noise out there. I keep feeling like my girlfriend's going to walk in any minute. I don't know the exact answer to that. Uh, Edward says, did the Beatles ask George Martin to produce Abbey Road because they didn't like what Phil Spector did to Let It Be? Well, first of all, you have to understand that Let It Be came out after Abbey Road. So they didn't get to really hear the final Spector product until after, long after Abbey Road. I don't really understand the question, Lango McHarrison. Do you think Paul and the other Beatles would have had as many solo songs and hits if John lived? I don't know what that. I'm a little mixed up. You mean like would John have had more hits? I don't know the answer to that. Who does? I know it's just again it's just speculation. It's just guessing. First of all, we said Spectre had nothing to do with it. What are we talking about? Living in a material world? Did he try some by some? See, Marcus Thompson says the Jeff Emmerich book proves your point further, Joe. You have to even question those that were actually there because obviously Emmerich's book was totally biased in favor of Paul and was anti George. See, there's an example there. I mean, they've said that Jeff Emmerich was anti George, so therefore he's going to be anti George and pro Paul. You know, a lot of people are up Paul's ass. Let's face it. And a lot of that's because Paul, uh, thankfully, wonderfully, is still here alive with us and doing good work. But one day he won't be here, and I just wonder if people are going to be kissing his butt. And when he's not here, I think a lot of people are going to be shocked with a lot of stuff that comes out. I believe I've said that many times before, and I believe that. You know, okay, folks. I just have to think those who are just watching this video right now. They're like, I'm just sitting here. Look at my hair, my glasses. My shirt. All right, we're talking about the 5 CD version Revolver Christmas. Oh, and the Target misspelled Revolver album. Yeah. One of them has a misspelling. A couple of them have a misspelling of revolver. I haven't played the LP of Revolver. I just played the CD. So get into that. An apple here. It's funny these days. I always like to eat apples, but these days I don't know if you can tell. You can't tell on camera. It's a tiny apple. See, it's a miniature because I can't these days with teeth issues. It's harder to bite into a big apple than a little one. A little one is easier. Oh, I don't agree with that. Henry says it's crazy how besides Ringo, you can make a case for either John, Paul, or George being the best singer in the band. George doesn't even come close. I like George, but he doesn't come close. I mean, it's either John or Paul, being best singers, not George. Hi, Gary Hunt. I had a great Christmas. I hope you did too. How was my Christmas? It was terrific. Now it's over. Done. Finished. Christmas. Humbug. It's done. Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with people saying, "How was your Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas?" Nothing wrong with that. It was good, thank you. Hope yours was too. Are there troubles with my audio? Hopefully, my audio is good. Oh, I see. When Gary says, I can't hear you. Do I like caramel apples? In my entire life, I don't think I've had many. All right, folks. Your dad was thrilled with the revolver deluxe box that you gave him for Christmas. I hear noise out there talking. Getting ready to shut down this chat soon. Maybe I should turn this around a little bit. Maybe a little different angle. How's that? How's that? Different view. Yeah, that's just a view I should have done from the beginning. I like this view a lot better. Yeah, the maid is out there. Anybody out there have a maid fantasy? Ooh, this is a better angle. I like this. I never thought of doing this angle. Inherited records. Inherited records. Yeah, tonight we're supposed to go out to dinner. It's not really a fancy place. We're going to the Texas Roadhouse. I mean, I've got a Texas Roadhouse where I live, but so I wonder if I could show anything that I got for Christmas. I'm not that big on steak. There's a big ribeye steak for Mayo. I'm not that big on steak actually, but tonight I might think about it. I think there was one song I heard by John's father. Oh man, the air is so dry in here. Did I ever buy an original Beatles release on release day? No. Now, I remember buying the Beatles Rarities album in the United States on March 24th, 1980. I remember the date. But albums like that. But no, none of the originals. No, a little before my time. Right. People say that John took the melody from Imagine from his dad. John took everything. And that was one. That was one of the biggest disappointments for me to discover. Well, John admitted this a lot of times. John didn't try to hide it. In some cases, he went to Dennis Elsis's studio, WNEWFM in September of '74, and brought 45s with him from his own collection, showing everybody in the audience playing examples from original 45s as to where he got certain hooks from, licks, and introductions. I mean, he borrowed everything, John. That was a little disappointing to me when I found that out. I mean, I knew that was okay, but there's so many examples since then that people are coming up with. Yes, I like hamburgers more than steak. Yes, I do. But you know why that is? Because I like bread, and that's part of the things that's going to have to stop in the new year. The love for bread. I mean, that's my biggest fault. My biggest weakness is bread. It's not sugar. I mean, sure, I got a sweet tooth, but if you want sugar, you can have an apple. That's why it's here. You know. But yeah, I bought the anthology. True, true. I was trying to think. I bought the anthology on release date. True, but I was trying to go back as early as I could think. I guess the right way to say it is, I think I also bought the Beatles live at the Hollywood Bowl. I don't know if it was the release date, but it was around the same time. Do I have any drinks when I go out, like cocktails and things? I don't care. I don't care for cocktails. I'll have a beer maybe or something like that. You know, but I'm not much of a drinker. Never have been. Socially, a beer here, a beer there. When I used to go to clubs, dancing clubs, I used to have a screwdriver. Something like that. Maybe a Long Island iced tea or something like that. But I never was really big on the booze. Why do you think I look as good as I do? No cigarettes, no booze. Why do you think I don't look my age? Although today I'm not so good. Too much light in here. Yes, Petty Lane says try pita pocket bread. It has less carbs. Yeah, yeah, I like pita bread. Sure. Okay, Lengo McHarrison says I missed the beginning of the video. Where are you sending this from? I'm sitting in a hotel room in the state of Maine. Do I like chop suey? No. I like Chinese food, but I don't like chop suey. Martin says John Lennon would admit to what he took. Paul, on the other hand, prefers to say he dreamed everything. Well, John's more honest. That's true. I mean, John didn't own up to everything, but there's so many Paul songs that he's done, hundreds of songs he's written, melodies and stuff, and I don't know how many songs have popped up that have been founded that people have discovered were other songs. Do I remember Jimmy's Music World? A little. There was no real Jimmy's Music World along where I lived. They were mostly in Manhattan. How cool, or how should I say how cold? Well, anyway, I don't know if this is what you're asking me, but here in Maine, the temperature's like in the 20s. It has not been overly cold. It's not been much different than New York. It's the same, it should be a lot colder here. And it's not bad, I'm happy to say. And there's been a lot of sun. We've had a lot of sun and no snow, as I think I said earlier. There's no snow. They got a lot of snow here. They got a foot and a half of snow here. Uh, the weekend before Christmas. But now it's almost all gone. There's just little remnants here and there of snow. You know. Want to see a little bit of snow? Let's do it. Wait a minute. If I can get up here, hold on a minute. Let's try this. All right, here we go. Like for example, here's the parking lot, right? Uh, there's the parking lot, and there's some there, and right across that's the parking lot I walked. I walked around that whole parking lot. It's a pretty. You can't see from here. It's a huge parking lot. I walked. I could have went around there 3 or 4 times. I get my exercise, keep the blood flowing. This some snow, but nothing really. The weather's nice. Very happy to say. Okay, let's figure this out. Reverse it back. Okay, here we go. Back to where we once belonged. Good. All right. I like that. Just to have a little different. I want to. I like having this for posterity too. If we're going to say things like people taking songs, and we can also say the Beatles took things from Elvis, Buddy Holly, Little Richard. Yeah, I guess so. But yeah. What's the worst thing about retirement? That's an interesting question. So far, nothing. you know, there's nothing bad about retirement for me. Maybe some other people get bored. I'm not bored because I got a lot of hobbies. Um, no, nothing. I can't think of it. What's the worst thing? I wish I could come up with something. What's the worst thing about retirement? Well, I've been retired 8 months, and in the 8 months I've been retired, the only thing that I've noticed, which is strange because I didn't expect it to be this way. I expected it to be the opposite. Time seems to go much quicker. Now, time goes quicker as we age anyway. The older you get, the faster time goes, right? We all know that. But, or it seems to go faster as you get older, but time seems to go even more fast to me when you're retired. When you're working, it seems to go slower. Well, maybe because you're going through the drudgery of work. My job was a real killer, and I hated it. But yeah, it goes fast, like that. Other than that, I mean, there's no qualm, there's nothing bad. There's only good points about retirement, as far as I'm concerned. My retirement, it's just weird. It wasn't what I thought. I thought retirement was going to be. I was going to be stress free, worry free, relaxed, and it's not really the case. There's still stresses. You're always going to have problems. First of all, as I say many times, I'm sorry, folks, who don't agree. The world out there sucks. The world is a mess. That's pressure. COVID, dealing with COVID, not knowing when you're going to get it, who you're going to get it from, you know, etc. How sick you're going to get from it. Some people get it mild, some people get it severe. I got COVID, in October, a couple of months ago, when I got it severe. Everybody I knew was getting it not as severe. But we're not going to talk much about that. So any questions asked from this point on with that will be ignored. No offense to anybody. I just don't want to go there. I'm not going to talk about anything relating to it. Uh, but yeah, so there's stress. And of course, my girlfriend got sick. My girlfriend was ill in April. As soon as I retired, she got sick right away. Well, She got sick 2 weeks before I was due to retire, and she got sick 2 weeks before retirement. The good thing about that was because I was retiring, I was able to take better care of her, and that was good. But retirement's a great thing. It's just that my retirement has been fraught with a little bit of challenges since I've been retired. But Christian asked me, "Is Maine really nice?" Uh, yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, I don't see. I mean, I've only been this one area. Maine is a very big, well, big enough place, and I've only been in this one area. Anytime I've come here about 5 times in this area, and I like it here. And we are seriously considering moving to Maine now. It's we don't know. We've been talking a lot about it. We may move here. Is for reasons. The only thing is I don't like cold. I don't like snow. But you can also get warmth here too. I mean, I come up here in the summer one time. I came here in the summer and it was nice. But if you can deal with the cold and some snow and make it through that, then why not? Maybe, just maybe, because mainly because my girlfriend has family up here, and if we come up here, we get to spend time with them on a regular basis. I don't know. We're thinking about it. There's still nothing in stone as to where we're gonna go. Henry says, favorite Chinese food. Do you like General Tso's chicken? Yes, I do like General Tso's chicken. Why wouldn't I, right? It's sweet. I like sushi, though, Japanese food. I like sushi, which is Japanese. Chinese, I mean, Dragon and Phoenix. I love, see, that's the stuff I'm trying to get away from. You know, Shrimp has, there's this one dish, Dragon and Phoenix, which has General Tso's chicken on one side, and the other side is spicy shrimp. So, excuse me. Henry asked me, "Am I in Portland right now?" No, I'm not in Portland, but I've been to Portland. On one of the trips here in the summer that we made, we took a ride into Portland, into the city. So I'm not in Portland. I'm in a small town in Maine. Do I have checks or pensions for me to make money? What are you saying? I'm a little lost. Do I have checks or pensions? I have a pension. I don't know. What did I do for a living? I was a letter carrier, a mailman, and a parcel deliverer. It's funny. You think they call it a letter carrier, but these days you don't get any letters. Most stuff is automated. On the internet. You're more of a package courier these days, like UPS or something. But yeah, and that's what kept me. See, the thing is, look. No, it's no joke here. I've been overweight. I've been overweight for a number of years now. I used to be slim, then I got overweight. I'll get slim again when I'm ready. But the bottom line is, um, even though I was overweight, doing the job that I did was very good for the cardiovascular system, circulatory system. Keeps you in shape. So, like I say, even though I'm not a mailman anymore, and even though I'm overweight, and I need to lose weight, and I'm working on it. When I go out and I walk, I can walk and walk, and I can walk forever. A lot of times, like go to a Paul McCartney concert, and we go to a football stadium to see Paul McCartney live, and we'll walk around the whole stadium trying to find out what entrance Paul's coming in when he arrives to say hello. And I can walk around that thing, and the people I'm with, they're like, oh, sometimes, not everybody, but I know my girlfriend one time was like, oh, wait, slow down, slow down. And I'm used to walking. Daughter is enjoying her winter break. If the world was great, there'd be no more Mr. Mayo rant videos. Yeah, the rant videos are going to move. The rant videos are moving for sure to my Mayo After Dark channel. So those people watching this, if you like the rant videos, you have to subscribe if you're not already to my Mayo After Dark YouTube channel because all the rants I'm going to make all the rants over there. There are already some there that are not here. We'll talk about that in my video. Be sure you watch the video changes for the new year, what I'm going to do to my channel. Do I think the song "My Sweet Lord" was taken from "He's So Fine"? The ruling was that George unconsciously took it. For me personally, I can't relate because I would think if I was a songwriter, I would try everything in my power not to copy the song, any other song. I wouldn't want to get in trouble. I wouldn't want, I want to make it as original as possible. So I think George unconsciously did it. But I always say my answer to that is I think there were a lot of other songs by people that sound like they're ripped off from other songs. Way more than My Sweet Lord sounds like he's so fine. The beginning, My Sweet Lord, sounds like he's so fine. But once you get past that, to me, like, I really don't want to do it. Gonna make a mine. Oh yeah. It's not later, sooner or later. Oh yeah. Like that part doesn't sound anything like My Sweet Lord to me. The three words, My Sweet Lord, sound the same as He's So Fine. But I've heard. What did I hear on the ride up here? There was a Christmas song that sounded like the song "You Belong." I think it's "You Belong to Me." See the pyramids along the Nile. See the sunrise on a tropic isle. Just remember, darling, all the while you belong to me. There was a Christmas song by somebody that sounded exactly like that. My girlfriend pointed it out to me. Lengo McHarrison, I'm glad you like the rant videos. What are the taxes in New York? Oh, I don't own property, so the taxes are outrageous in New York. People say that the prices in New York are insane. I mean, a lot of money. You know, insane. That's why people move out of New York because it's just too expensive. But I don't own a property, so I don't have to pay the property taxes. But they're huge. They're very. Alex, I will never go to California. Sorry. I used to think I'd love to go to California, to go to Hollywood, go to San Francisco, go to Hollywood and see the Hollywood Walk of Fame and see the stars. What stars? The people supposed to be movie stars today. Forget it. That ship has sailed. There's a little rant video for you right there. Right now, Henry says I'm right now in Maine is where most Stephen King stories take place. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I might. If we move out here, it'd probably be New Hampshire. Actually, we'll probably move to New Hampshire because, I mean, if we decided to go north, we'd probably go to New Hampshire because there's no tax here, and it's they don't tax your pension either, so that's why. Uh, Henry says, "Did you deliver mail walking or in a mail in a truck?" I deliver. I both. I mean, I delivered. I walked. I mean, I was walking. Where I delivered mail was walking. You had to walk around, get back in the truck, drive to your next block, park the car. You do it like a horseshoe. You come in. Say you're coming this way down the street. You park in the middle of the street, unload the truck. You do a horseshoe. You go here. You walk around, do like a horseshoe loop, and come back to the truck. Get the other half of the street, and then walk around this way, and then I'll do a horseshoe like that. They call it park and loop. Yeah. What, you don't like Brad Pitt? Yeah. Brad Pitt's considered one of the old guys now, right? I mean, who's the new guy? I don't even know the new celebrity. Oh, I'm going to go and meet Brad Pitt. Oh, boy, come on. I saw something on the news today that said Tom Cruise is being called the last major movie star or something. The last movie classic or big movie star. Tom Cruise is the last classic movie star. We're in trouble. What happened to Jimmy Stewart? What happened to Cary Grant, James Cagney. Well, I know those are a long, long time ago, but even people like even Pacino and Dustin Hoffman, even these people are like done. Favorite pizza? Anything. I like pizza. New York pizza, though. That's one thing I'm gonna miss when I move out of New York is New York pizza. Definitely. So deliver some mail, take a nap. I don't know how old you are, but that didn't go on. I was there for 27 years, and there was no taking of naps. If you took naps and they called you, first of all, there's no time. Things have changed in the post office. I started the post office in the 90s, and in the 90s, even then, this stuff you see on TV, like Cheers, Cliff Clavin, he goes into and has a drink in the bar in between delivering mail. No, and somebody writes here, maybe Cliff Clavin took a nap, right? No. I mean, that was the case. Some of the old timers who worked in the 1960s and 70s told me in the 60s and 70s used to be able to do that, take a nap or do this and that. Funny, as soon as I said that, there's a mail truck drove right by the parking lot, a little mail truck. But in my time, by that time, they were really getting tough. This person here signals. This person here signals writes LOL because this person I believe worked with me for years. This person is throwing hints that he or she worked with me and will not tell me who they are. Signals. I'm trying. A picture of Goodfellas on the avatar. You probably think who at the post. Just tell me their initials at least. I mean, the person doesn't want to tell me. And that whole thing about Newman, that's bullshit too. On the Seinfeld show, isn't there an episode where Newman ask Jerry if he could deliver the mail? Jerry, you deliver the mail? Yeah, I'll deliver the mail. You can't do that. You just can't do that. I know it's supposed to be a comedy. You're not supposed to take it seriously. Any reason why the eastern states are your preferred this, this destination to move to? And when you say eastern states, I'm not good with the map. What are we talking about? Ideally, if somebody said to me, you could live anywhere you want to live. Well, I can, I guess, actually. Uh, you could buy a house. If somebody gave me a lottery money and I could buy a big house, I probably want to live in Arizona. I would like, I want the heat. I like the heat. I like the heat. I like the sun. I'd much rather live in Arizona. Um, I like to live in places where there's no real too many natural disasters. Like I wouldn't want to live where there's tornadoes, where there's hurricanes. One good thing about living in New York, you don't deal with tornadoes, you don't deal with hurricanes, floods, really, too much. I mean, it happens. I know it happens. People are going to say, "Oh, I lost my whole record collection to Hurricane Sandy." Don't tell me. Yeah, but that's an exception. It was a fluke. I mean, in all the years I've been alive, there's maybe one hurricane like Sandy. And uh, just reading. Yeah, I know. So, CD man Nick says if you moved in Arizona, you'd be closer to Tom Hunyadi. I'd like to hang out with Tom. I'd love to be like friends with Tom. I mean, we're friends now, but I mean, hang out with Tom. But we're probably not going to go to Arizona for one reason. It's just too damn far from New York. We still want to be able to get to New York. We still want to be able to get to Maine. We got family in New York. We have family in Maine, and to go to Arizona is just too far. Desert Joe. Yeah, I'm a desert guy. I'd much rather, here I am thinking we're going to move to Maine or New Hampshire, which is cold, but not cold all year round, the winters are long. Did I like Henry Fonda? Henry Fonda was all right. I wasn't knocked out by Henry Fonda. Hello, Darren Gamble. No singing today, I'm afraid. The Inner Groove Record Store in Arizona. Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know, folks. I think I've told you this before. We might just wind up in the state of Delaware. There's so many factors as to where we're going to move. I can tell you this: it's either going to be Delaware, Maine, or New Hampshire. It's going to be one of those three places, I think. Um, I've talked about this before. Delaware is not it's not my first choice, but there's a situation where we may be able to get a great house for real cheap. And if we get it real cheap and save a lot of money, that's the whole thing. It's much cheaper. It could be much cheaper. Our deal we're going to get in Delaware. If we go to excuse me, if we go to Maine or New Hampshire, it would be uh, much tighter financially, just the way it is for us. That's a good point. Doc says the last major movie star is Tom Hanks. It's funny when you think about it too, because Tom Hanks. I mean, I like Tom Hanks. He's a good guy. But Tom Hanks, he was a TV comedy guy. It's like this is what we're down to. Tom Hanks is is the last great old actor. It's amazing. Well, I don't really know about Rhode Island. I don't know enough about Rhode. I don't know Rhode Island. I don't think so. Well, see, that's the thing. Henry says, "Why Delaware? That's the most boring state out of all of them." Yes, from what I heard, it's very boring. I know a guy that's 75 who's a record. He's a record dealer, and he actually moved from New York to uh, Delaware, and he comes back from Delaware to visit. And even he says it's boring as hell out there. I told you why. The reason is because we could get a good deal. I don't want to go. I don't want to go through too many precise financial details, but the bottom line is, we might go from spending 25 or $2,600 to rent a house. We might go from that to only renting a house for only anywhere from 1,000 to 1,600, 1,400, 1,600. It's a big difference for a house to rent a house. Don't tell me to buy. I got a lot of that from the relatives here. Why don't you buy? It's more economical to buy rather than paying rent. Duh. I know that. We can't. In the story. if I had, if I had like hundreds of thousands, few $100,000 just stocked in a bank, I'd do it. And then somebody says here, what is this? Rome loves Dan. Sorry. Delaware equals tax benefits too. Boring. But no, no. Delaware equals tax benefits too. Boring? No way. Mayo needs time to sort through his collections. There's that too. You know, I'm not going to be going gallivanting around much. Shuffle off to Buffalo. Not on your life. Not on your life. And now Doc says Iowa or Nebraska is the epitome of boring. At least in Michigan, we got puffy tacos. Yeah, if we move to either Delaware or New Hampshire, Delaware and New Hampshire both have tax benefits. Delaware and New Hampshire both have it, and Delaware and New Hampshire are each only 4 hours driving distance to New York. 4 hours is not bad. You know, I could still go to visit the record store that I go to once in a while. Maybe once every 2 months or something like that. Every 8 weeks, I can get a room and I drive back 4 hours. What about Connecticut? I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of political talk going on around here. Can we drop the political talk, please? How does Ms. Mayo, we'll say Ms. Mayo, because she's not a Mrs. She's not married, but no. How does she feel about the move? Well, she's open to anything really. That's one of the reasons I'm with her. She's really cool about everything, but she would prefer to live in New Hampshire or Maine because her family's here. So she prefers to be here. But I keep telling her all I could say is, don't you think there's a difference between us paying 2,500 a month, 2,600 a month in rent versus paying 1,200? Do the math. That's a lot of extra money a month for a house. I was thinking maybe shacking up with Doc Dawkins. That'd be cool. Maybe I'll sleep on that couch that he's got back there. New Jersey, are you crazy? New Jersey is one of the worst places on earth. Sorry for New Jerseyans. Well, I hope Andy Nichols ain't out there. How would I fill my time? Are you kidding? Making videos, watching videos, collecting movies, watching movies, collecting records, CDs, books, getting time to play them. Yeah, if I moved, there'd be a lot of things I'd miss. Sure, the record store I'd miss and all that. I doubt very much that any other record store I go to would be as good as that store, and it certainly would. There's no place I can go to a record store wise that would have any kind of situation where I could record shows there. Well, folks, I think I'm gonna end the Q&A as I read more questions. Yeah, I got things I got to do, and then I'm gonna meet up with my girlfriend. We're gonna be heading around, and then we're gonna go to dinner tonight out here. And then tomorrow, again, we head to Manchester, New Hampshire. Anybody here that's in Manchester, New Hampshire, that wants to meet me and say hello at the record store. I don't remember the name of the record store. I'm gonna be going there tomorrow at some point. So it's been great, everybody. Talk soon. You know that. Have a good one. Ciao.